Awesome. Recording has started. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Tomola. I'm also known as Anu. I'm the founder of Titanial Consulting, and I'll be taking you through life after admission, how to unlock financial support, and more internship opportunities. If you have any questions at any point in time during this session, please put your questions in the chat box, and myself, or a member of the Titanial Consulting team, would actually answer your questions. Please put your questions in the chat box. Okay? Awesome. So today we'll be going through, we'll be talking a little bit about Titanial Consulting. A few of you, or most of you, know what Titanial Consulting is and what we do. For those that do not know about Titanial Consulting, we'll be taking you through what Titanial Consulting is really about. And then we'll be taking you through understanding graduate school funding challenges. And then we'll be introducing our partner, Empower. And then we'll be going through a video with our partner, our Empower partners, or a conversation with our Empower partners on the benefits of Empower. Actually, right now, there is a deal if you're able to start your loan before December 31st, your rates are significantly lower. And it's really very interesting because even if you don't have an admission decision yet, you can lock down that rate, and you can always adjust for the amount anytime, even after the 31st of December. So I would say it's a good deal for everybody involved. And then we'll be talking about how to use the Empower UTM link, and we'll be going through internship opportunities. So one part of this is basically about financing. The other part is going to be about internship opportunities. I know we're in December. Some of you are wondering, oh, I recently just got admitted to school, or I'm actually applying in round 2. January. So why do I want to bother about internship opportunities? Well, you should bother because are you aware of what we call pre-MBA opportunities and early internship opportunities? You have people grabbing internships from June, April, May, June, July, even before they start school in the summer. So there are a lot of those opportunities. It will be great for you to be one of those few people that are able to lock down your internship and your career search even before you get on campus, because that would actually help you do really, 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 really well and will help accelerate your success. So if you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put your questions in the chat box. So a little bit about Titanial Consulting, why we exist. We exist to be the plug, connecting young professionals like you all around the world, not just in West Africa, all around the world, to be ready for their next career and academic opportunity. And the reason why I say career and academic is because Titanial Consulting doesn't just focus on on graduate admissions. We also focus on career services, which is a huge part actually of our service offering, which is the career part, because it's not just even getting into graduate school. After graduate school, how do you make a success of yourself outside graduate school, after graduate school, even within graduate school? A lot of us are coming to graduate school because we want to accelerate our career opportunities. We want to make sure that we're in a good spot career-wise. How do you do that? Right? That's why we actually do exist. How can we prepare you? So our mission is to make sure that we prepare you, right? We teach you how to tell your stories better, how you can actually identify the right opportunities for growth, and how you can connect your past, your present to your future. I always say this, see Titanial Consulting as a school to actually help you to the next level of your career, the next level of your growth. So it's not oh, we're going to do everything for you. No, we're going to coach you. We're going to be by your side. But you have to actually put in the work, right? It's like getting into a school program and you get lectures and then you get your scripts marked. Now, the only difference is you submit your assignments, you submit projects in your school, you get like 75% and that's it. Or you get 50%, that's it. For us, you continue to iterate the work till you at least 100% or 90 something percent. We won't let you go. But that also means that you also will not let go because we've seen a few people that are actually not ready to put in the work. So Titanial Consulting is a whole lot about you putting in the work and making sure that you are also ready to actually live the dream that you're envisioning for yourself. Because at the end of the day, nobody can want your dream more than you actually want it. And that's what I've noticed. So I need you to bring your own self saying, this is what I want to do. And Titanial Consulting will be here to support you. Now, we always share this slide in every webinar, every session that we have. These are just very, very few of our success stories from an admissions perspective, a career perspective. We've had clients get into top business schools, top graduate programs, top 10, top 5, top 20, top 30. We have clients everywhere. When it comes to our career success, that's been really, really huge, from investment banking to consulting, to technology, to healthcare, to general management. We have clients with offers across all of those areas and all of those places. Okay. All right. So a few things for you to actually note. We actually offer, let me see. So we offer actually more than one-on-one MBA admission coaching services. We do offer one-on-one services. We offer group coaching services across the cycle. And we have good successes with our clients getting full rides, some with good stipends. But most importantly, we have all our clients that have ever gotten into business school have been able to get between 50 to 100% of scholarships. So we have good successes with that for our clients that have gotten into school. And then when it comes to our career path, which is the Head Start program that I will be talking a lot about, we've had huge successes with our clients landing interviews before they start school. A couple have even landed offers in June, July before they even start school. Imagine landing an internship offer before you even start school. That means your first year of the program will be focused solely on academics, and then you would have less pressure as against you actually adding both career and academics together in the same time. And that's because you decided to put in the work and you decided to be aggressive about it. So we will go through understanding graduate school challenges. I think that's the first thing that we are going to do. We're going to understand graduate school challenges, and then we will now go through Empower Financing. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. I see two people with activities. I don't know if they have any questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. Okay, so there are very common challenges students face when seeking funding for graduate school. The first one is the competition. Right now, for scholarships, grants, and funding, generally, they're very, very limited, right? So for graduate school, most of the scholarships are merit-based scholarships. And merit-based scholarships are very fair. So they are not need-based scholarships. So a lot of people think that, oh, well, based off of the financial situation of my home country, I probably will be eligible for a need-based scholarship. Why a few schools actually do give need-based scholarship, most graduate schools give mainly merit-based funding, right? And for you to be eligible for merit-based funding, that means you have to be top tier, which is not impossible. I mean, that's why you're here. That's why you're putting in all of the effort and all of the work, but just makes the competition very fierce. And it's not just about, oh, I have a very high CGPA or I have a very high test score. No, it's everything together. It's your entire profile. And if you're wondering, oh, how do I stay competitive? We've had a lot of webinars on preparing yourself, preparing your profile, MBA admission interviews. So if you need any help or any support with that, please make sure that you go to our YouTube channel, titanialconsulting.com. That's us on YouTube. That's just the name. And you will see all of our recent videos that talks a whole lot about that, right? How to prepare yourself for funding opportunities, how to come up with stellar essays, how to make sure that you have, like, I think, a great resume, MBA interviews, you have all of those information. So if that's what you're looking for, please go to our YouTube channel to watch that. Then some schools just don't have sufficient funding to give everybody, right? And to be honest, education is expensive, and quality education is actually really very, very expensive. So think about it as, oh, why are they investing so much when you don't even want to invest in yourself? So yes, we have the challenges with insufficient funding. And while some students might be able to get like good scholarships, it might not be able to cover like living expenses, right? And then when it comes to eligibility requirement, right, a lot of international students might face like stronger eligibility requirements if you're an international student. For example, I think domestic students actually do have like opportunities for need-based versus international students where most of it is merit-based. Although there are still some need-based opportunities in certain few schools for international students, right? Those are common challenges, like when we're seeking funding for grad school. And when we're thinking through funding, most of the funding is actually always available at the admission stage. So when you get admission, you get this funding, right? You get admitted, you get funding from the school. However, there are several opportunities to actually up your funding. First is you can negotiate for more money from the school, which is you having to engage the school, ask for more money, not just going to ask, but you need to prove your value that, oh, you think you're actually a very good candidate. You need to prove your value from a merit-based perspective and for what the benefit of you coming to the school is going to have not just on yourself but to other people and in the future how you plan to pay it forward, right? And if you need help or support thinking through that, you can just reach out to us at Itinerary Consulting, and we'll be happy to take you through the process on how we can help you think through you requesting for more money or requesting for more funds, right, from your school. That's the first one. The second one is external scholarships. There are a couple of external scholarships, right, that you can apply to. I know that, I don't know if Harvard still does the 7-Up scholarship, but there are a few external scholarships here and there that you can apply to actually supplement your scholarship funding from the school. And then there are some schools that provide the opportunity to actually apply for graduate assistantships. And within the graduate assistantships, they're able to waive some or all of your tuition. Now, some of the challenges with that is if the graduate assistantship is not actually offered from admission, you might have to come to school first and get a graduate assistantship position. So that's actually another challenge. Now, a third one is landing fellowships and pre-MBA opportunities. So investment banking specifically does provide a lot of fellowships and pre-MBA opportunities for diverse candidates. And almost, I believe everybody on this call falls into the diverse candidate bracket. So some of these investment banks are able to provide funding opportunities or fellowship opportunities that cover your first year and your second year tuition, right? So those are huge opportunities, right, for you as a graduate student. Now, the final one, I mean, that's not the last, but the final one that I'll be talking about today is their loans, student loans. While a couple of us hear loans and we're so afraid, well, I would say that, I mean, we all want to get into school. We all want to get 100%, but the reality is not everybody would. And it's not because you're not good. It's just that it's really very competitive and the funding is actually really limited. And while some people might actually be able to get a significant portion, maybe 95% or even 90, for most people from West Africa, because of the economic landscape, even that 5% or that 10% deficit is still huge, right? If they're going to use the savings from their home country to supplement it. And that's where loans actually do come in. Student loans are very common in this part of the world because it's expected that you're able to invest in yourself, take a loan to actually go to school, to actually supplement some of your funding. And so that's where we'll be having our partner team from Empower talk to us about student loans, Empower student loans specifically. And if you have any questions at all, please raise your hand and I'll be sending a member of the Itinerary Consulting team will be including a link for you to schedule a session with us. If you're thinking through or ideas of, oh, I want to negotiate the funding I already got from my school. I'm thinking about like some of my strategies. What should I do? We'll be including the link for you to schedule a call in the chat box. Please let us know if you have any specific question. Okay, all right. So we would be handing it over to the Empower team now. So give me 1 second.
Sabrina to take us through our presentation from Empower Financing. So Sabrina,
Great.
over to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Anu. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. Oops. Okay, great. Well, welcome everyone. I'm excited to share a bit more about Empower Financing with you. Whether you've heard about us or not, this session should serve to tell you who we are, what we offer, and how to engage with us through Titan R, who is one of our trusted partners that we work with to engage students. So just to begin, I'll just tell you a little bit about who Empower is. We are an organization that is mostly made up of former international students, so students just like you, who are coming to the US or Canada to pursue their studies. And we have funded over 40,000 students to date on their study abroad journey. So we're really excited to put our expertise to work to help serve you and help you achieve your dreams of studying abroad as well. So this presentation will cover a couple of different aspects. We're going to start with giving you a bit of an overview of Empower. Then I'll tell you some of the key loan features. I'll then discuss our Path to Success program, which is some other services around the loan. We'll go through the loan application process. And then at the end, I'll cover a couple of frequently asked questions. So to begin with, Empower Financing is a mission-driven public benefit corporation. We're headquartered in Washington, D.C., and we provide forward-looking international student loans. This means that we are able to offer students loans based on their prospective earning power, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. We work with over 430 universities and colleges in the US and Canada, and our goal is to help students succeed academically, professionally, and financially through financing their studies. We are a certified B Corporation, and we have backing with prominent financial service providers, including Goldman Sachs, ETS, and Deutsche Bank. So as of this year, Empower Financing has approved over $2 billion worth of student loans for more than 40,000 students worldwide. So those students come from over 190 countries across the globe. We, like I said, work with over 430 schools in North America. And like I said, we're exclusively servicing schools in the US and Canada. So I want to just give you a few overviews of schools that are some of our top schools per different countries. So I don't know where everybody today is coming from, but I'll give you just a few examples of some of the popular schools in different countries where students are coming to us from. So for example, in Nigeria, some of the top universities that we work with are Trent University, University of Manitoba, Northeastern University in Canada, American University in the US, and Northeastern University. In Ghana, we've also had a pretty big surge of Ghanaian students in the last year. Top schools there, Northeastern, both Canada and the US, Michigan Technological University, Trent University, and American University. And then Kenya is also one of the big markets for us where students are coming to us from. In Kenya, slightly different top schools, Grand Valley State, Montclair, American, Arizona State University, and South Dakota State University. So obviously we have, like I said, over 430 schools that we work with, but these are some of the schools that we see students in these countries applying to. So this is just a quick snapshot I wanted to share with everybody These are reviews that we get from our Empower students who have received a loan on our evaluation site called Trustpilot. So these are literal screenshots that people have left for us, which you can see they essentially say they didn't have any funding to pursue their studies. And through Empower, they were able to secure that financing that they needed to study. And it really opened up new doors for them to be able to study abroad. So I welcome anyone who wants to look at more reviews. You can go to Trustpilot, search for Empower, and see our reviews from former students there. Okay, let's dive into some of our key loan features. To begin with, Empower is looking towards your future when we are evaluating students for loans. So this means that you can come to us with a need for financing, and you do not need to have a cosigner for your loan. You don't need a guarantor. You also do not need to have collateral or a security deposit to be eligible for our loan. So this is a really, really unique feature for Empower loans. It means you don't really need to rely on other people in your life to support you with this financial opportunity. Empower does not require the cosigner or collateral. We work with over 430 schools that are eligible. You can view on our website or ask Titan R which schools are eligible and search through that list to see if the schools and the programs that you're interested in are available. And we support a wide variety of degrees. So Masters of Science, MBA, and PhD programs. We're really focused on STEM programs in particular. Secondly, we have low rates and high limits. So loans can be as low as $2,001, excuse me, all the way up to $100,000 over the entire course of your studies. We offer very competitive rates, which I will detail a little bit more later, and they are fixed interest rates. We do fixed interest rates because it prevents the sudden spike of interest rates in the future for you, so it's very, very predictable. And then finally, we don't have any upfront fees. We don't have any pre-closing charges. You don't need loan insurance. So there's none of these kind of hidden fees that you might find with other loan products. And finally, we have a reliable and a fast application process. So when you apply for a student loan, you'll see instantly whether you can get a conditional loan offer. The disbursement that we do goes directly to your school. So you don't have to do anything once you're approved for a loan. That all comes from us communicating with the school and making sure that the disbursement goes directly to them. You also, from Empower, get a dedicated relationship manager so that you have personalized support with your loan. Okay, a little bit more on the rates. So one of the reasons we're having this webinar with you is because for a short time between now and the end of the year, so December 31st, we have a special rate that you can apply for. This rate is as low as 9.99%. This is called an early bird discount because we've offered 0.75 discount for applications that are received before December 31st, 2024, for people who are applying for the fall 2025 semester. So if you're planning on entering school next fall in 2025, submit your application before the end of this year. It also includes a discount of 0.25% for enrolling in autopay. And that means that you're just enrolling to make sure that your payments are automatically deducted from your bank account on a regular basis. We also include a 5% origination fee that gets added to your borrowed amount. So there's no outlay of cash required on your part. You do not need to do any sort of prepayment. This origination fee gets added to the total loan amount. So like I said, there's no hidden fees, there's no pre-closing charges, there's nothing you need to do up front in terms of payment in order to be approved and secure your loan. In terms of repayment, there's a couple of components. So one is while you are in school, you only make interest payments. This keeps your costs very low, And it also enables you to build your credit score in the country where you're living so that after you graduate, you have the ability to use that credit score for other things like getting an apartment or getting a car loan or other types of loans. So that's very, very important. The repayment period for the loan is 10 years, and it doesn't start until 6 months after you graduate. You can also prepay or you can pay back your loan early if you decide, and there's no penalty for doing that, which again, many other loans will penalize you for paying off your loan early. Empower Financing does not do that. We avail to you online repayments in over 140 currencies, and the loan is also eligible for tax deductions and employer repayment programs in the United States. Okay, so I just want to go over a little bit with you what we talked about before, which is the fixed rate versus the variable rate. Maybe some of you already know about this or have looked into this, but just to go over for everyone, Empower offers fixed rate interest rates. This means that, for example, if you lock in that early bird rate of 9.99%, that is the interest rate you will pay for the entire duration of your loan. So you can plan your finances accordingly, and you never have to worry that 9.99% might change over time. With a variable rate, that's exactly what it means. It means the interest rate could be variable. So depending on what happens in the market and the economy, your interest rate could maybe start at 9.99, but then it could spike up, it could spike down, and it becomes very unpredictable over time. And that's why Empower Financing has chosen to offer students fixed rates, because it's predictable and it allows you to plan your finances over a long period of time. Okay, so that's the overview of our loan. And now I want to talk to you about our Path to Success program, which is a lot of the services that we offer around the loan. So just as a quick overview, how Empower features against other private lenders or banks. We offer that fixed interest rate. You don't need a cosigner. You don't need collateral for this loan. It's a 100% digital application. You get visa support, you get career service support, and you get a pre-qualified bank account in the US and Canada so that you can start building up your history in those financial markets. As part of our Path to Success program, we offer 3 buckets of services. So the first bucket is visa support. So once you've been approved for a loan, we provide you with a free visa support letter. It's something you can take with you for your visa interview if you're going to the US, or submit if you're going to Canada. And it details your Empower loan, who Empower is, how much the loan is, etc., so that it's very clear for the consular officer how you're financing your tuition. We also offer free visa support coaching. So we have a program where with your application process, you get free visa preparation courses. And then we also offer, if you want to do even more, you can do mock interviews and one-on-one coaching through our partner Catalyst Gem, and that's with a slight additional fee if you want to do that extra level of preparation. We also offer visa support via Border Pass for Canada. So that's on the visa support side, and I know Titan R also offers help with the preparation for the visa process. So if you have any questions about that, ask Anu and the Titan R team. The second bucket of support that we offer is financial tools. So like I mentioned before, we have a pre-qualified credit card and bank account in the US, same in Canada. And then we also offer some personalized financial resources that are specifically geared towards international students. Finally, the third bucket of services that we offer is around career and finding your right career. So obviously you're coming to study in the US or Canada, you're going to be looking for what's next after that. And so we offer internship and job search tools for F1 students in the US. We have an AI resume builder and a job search that is primarily targeted towards people who are on your path, who are looking for the immigration path in the US and Canada. Okay, finally, I'm just going to do a brief overview of the loan application process. This will be kind of a high-level overarching review, and if you have more detailed questions, follow up with Anu and the Titan R team after this to answer your specific questions about the application process. So our typical application is pretty quick. It's all online, and again, you'll go through the Titan R link in order to access this. So you start your online application. It shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes. Within 3 to 5 business days, you'll hear back on your conditional decision. Then your conditional decision is basically whether or not you're eligible. And then there's a few steps in between loan decision and your school receiving the funds. So within that is submitting some of your documentation, receiving your admission letter from the school, some verification. And then once you have signed your promissory note saying you accept the loan from Empower, then what Empower does is we reach out to your school, we verify that you're going to be a student there, and we send the funds directly to the school. Then once you're in school, like I was covering before, you make those interest-only repayments while you're in school. Now this process is the same, but if you are a STEM applicant, it can be rapid quick. So if you're applying for a STEM program, we have a light application that, again, very, very quick, but your loan decision is instantaneous. And so that allows you to make faster financial decisions about what you want to take for your loan. And then the rest of the process is the same. The school receives the funds and you do your interest-only payments when you're in school. Oops. Okay, I just want to cover a little bit about what drives the Empower loan approval. And so there's a lot of things that go into what drives an approval versus not being approved for a loan, but I just want to highlight some of these reasons. So obviously being admitted to a very competitive school that has high postgraduate salaries is really, really good. The way that Empower evaluates students for the ability to take on a loan is their potential earning after they graduate. So we really look at, are you going to graduate? Are you going to get, what kind of job are you going to get after you graduate? What kind of salary are you going to earn after you graduate from that program? And of course, the higher the graduation rates and the higher the salaries that are coming from programs like that, the higher the likelihood that your loan will be approved. So typically we look at programs that are STEM designated. So for example, computer science or data science, MBAs. We also look for high test scores, high English proficiency scores, and then it's also a boost if you've been working in the field that you're going to go study in. So if you did your undergrad and then you had a couple years of work experience as a data analyst, and then you're applying for a data science master's degree, that's a really good career path to your ongoing studies that gives a boost to your application. And then it's not required, but other funding sources are usually also a driver for being a good loan applicant. Things that lower the likelihood of your approval are essentially the opposite of that. So not great test scores, not a great earning potential after the course. So this like gap is what this is talking about here, a gap between the program studies and the potential salary that might be earned after that studies. Non-STEM majors. And then the big one to remember is if you have any debts existing, that's okay. The thing that will give you a bit of a knock on whether or not a loan is approved is if you have had any missed payments or delinquencies on those debts in the past. So that's something to look out for. And then also if you have work experience that is in a very different field from the program you're going to study in, that's also kind of a knock on the approval process. And any high existing debt, but I don't think that applies to many people, but it's on there as well. Okay, So I'll just cover a few frequently asked questions, and then at the end of this, Anu can answer some of your questions in more details if you have. Otherwise, she can funnel anything she can't answer to me, and I'll be happy to get back to you as quickly as possible. So one of the big questions is, when should I apply? Something that's really, really great about the Empower loan process is that you don't have to be accepted yet to your program to apply. You can start your application today. So if you are, like we spoke about, applying for that fall 2025 season, but you haven't even submitted your application yet, that's okay. You can still apply today and lock in that low rate, that early bird rate, for next year's semester. So what happens is you start your application and you'll end up getting a conditional offer. And then once you have applied to your school and you get your admission letter, then you'll upload those documents into our portal and your loan application will proceed from there. The second question we get a lot is what documents and personal information you need in order to apply. So again, the Titan R team will be able to help you with kind of step-by-step instructions with this. But the main thing is you're going to need your passport or your national ID. And then you're going to need to submit information about the program you're going to apply to. So there's kind of a list of about 10 documents that you'll need to prepare, and the Titan R team can help you just be prepared with all of that as you're going through the process. If you have any questions that the Titan R team can't answer, or it's something very, very particular, you can reach out to the Empower team via email or by phone call. So we have a dedicated email address just for students, which is empower.me@empowerfinancing.com. And then finally, just a lot of times people are like, is there a way to confirm that the application was submitted successfully? And yes, you'll get a confirmation email, and you'll also get access to a portal where you can log in and see exactly what your application status is. So that was a lot of information. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was clear. If you have any follow-up questions, again, the Titan R team is your go-to for anything immediate. And if there's anything that they are not able to clarify for you, you can be in touch and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best in your studies, and hopefully we can support you in making those studies become a reality. Thank you so much. Back to you, Anu.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sabrina. This was an amazing, amazing presentation. Thank you, the Empower team. So now we will be taking questions. So if you have any questions, put it in the chat box, and then we'll be answering the questions. And I would love to encourage you, once you have, for those people that have the admission decisions already, and for those that already applied that don't have the admission decisions, it's okay. You can put in your Empower application right now just to lock in the rates before the end of December. And you can send us a more detailed email. One of our consultants will be walking you through the entire application process. So thank you once again, Empower team. And now we will be answering the questions on the chat box.
So do we have any other questions? Okay, so I have Miriam said, can I get a list of schools you work with or where to find it? So click on the link that has been put in the chat here, the bit.ly link, the Empower link, and then you'll be able to see the list of the schools that Empower actually supports in the link. And then we can also send you details of the link, of the schools rather. So are loans provided for only tuition? No, actually, for Empower loans, you can use the loan for both tuition and living expenses, but I believe the loans are capped at $100,000. So it depends on how much you would be requiring. For a lot of people, the deficit in their on their education is up to 100,000 for both tuition and living expenses. So that's able to cover that. So what do you mean about does Empower run a scholarship program? I need more insight because Empower is a financial services company um, that gives loans. So what do you mean, do they run a scholarship program? I think I have an idea of the question that you want to ask, but I would like you to ask it properly, so I'm not answering you a different question, right? So, Technical services, the question Carol asked, are loans provided only for tuition? She didn't say if loans are paid directly to the school. Yes, she knows loans are paid directly to the school, and they would give you for both tuition, living expenses. So far, it's under the limit that you have, that they are able to support you. I think that's 100,000. What happens is your school would get the money, and when the deficit in your tuition has been paid, your school would be remitting the balance to you, which you would be using for your living expenses. Hope that makes sense. So, Candy, I'm waiting for you to re-ask your question. So what happens if one gets a scholarship? So, of course, no. So if you get okay, so there are different scenarios, right? So if you get like maybe you took a loan of 50,000 because you estimated that 50,000 was going to be the amount of money that you needed, and you already applied for a $50,000 loan, and then you see you get a scholarship of 30,000. So that means you only need 20,000. You just let Empower know, and then your loan amount will be reduced to 20,000. That's it. You're not bound to take the 50,000. Even for a lot of people who have agreed to take a particular amount of money from Empower, when it comes to disbursement, you can say that they should disburse a lower amount. That's fine. You don't have to take all of the money, right? How do you get additional funding from our school? So that's a totally different conversation. That is more of you networking and depends on your profile, right? So if you would like to learn more about that, you have to book a session with us. And the link to actually book a session with us was included in the chat. I'll ask Eternal Services to include it in the chat again. Right. So Louise said, do you need work experience to access the loan? Because I heard that one of the factors, well, yes. So they're looking at your profile holistically, right? Just like the way your school is looking at your profile to actually provide you admission or give you admission to the school. Empower wants to be sure that this person that they're giving a loan to can actually pay for the loan. Services, Carol was asking for funding from school. It is the link to schedule a one-on-one with us. Right. So it's totally different. Like I would say everybody's profile application is very different. So for Louis, if you don't have any work experience, what program are you going for? So for traditionally people that are coming for like master's program, like masters in accounting, masters in finance and supply chain, a lot of those master's program does not, like a lot of them don't require you to have work experience. They do not actually require you to have work experience, a lot of those master's programs. So now it will not determine what Empower used to determine they're going to give you a loan is, is this program STEM designated? What are the other parts of your profile that they can consider? How good is your school? Right? And for people that are, I don't know if you're Nigerian, for people that are Nigerians, even if you don't have any form of work experience at all, most people have done something called NYSC, and that's also work experience. So that is not to be discounted at all. That is actually good work experience that you can also include. So Candice said, I got to see scholarship program details on their page. Okay, so yes. So Empower does actually give some form of scholarship. And I think it's to maybe encourage people that are already taking the loan. So I don't know, I think it's about 10,000 depending on the scholarship, the particular scholarship details. I guess it's updated very frequently. But yes, you can go ahead to apply to certain Empower scholarship programs. They are very external to your school or to your institution. So what happens if after getting the Empower loan, visa was denied? That's it. You're not bound until you actually get into the school and the loan is disbursed to you. So a few people have gotten Empower loan approvals and their visa was denied. That's it. Like there's nothing they can do. They're not bound to pay that, to pay the money. Like they haven't disbursed the funds. And for a lot of the verification, even with the school and the process, a lot of this is hinged on you actually getting an approved visa, right? A lot of it is hinged on you getting an approved visa before they can even continue the process. So they will give you like a letter for you to take to the embassy, but we know how the entire embassy is, and that's why you should also leverage the visa resources that they're going to be providing for you. And if you actually use our Titanow link for the Empower application, we'll actually be offering you more guidance from a visa perspective, in complementary guidance from a visa perspective for your Empower loans too. What if your program of work differs from your current field of work? I mean, a program of study. So that totally depends, right? Some people are studying like biochemistry, or some people study like some form of engineering and they're coming for an MBA. An MBA is a very, very broad business degree that anybody, irrespective of their background, can actually have. That's why you have doctors, nurses, pharmacists, engineers actually do an MBA. So that should not be so much of an issue, right? As I said, everything is going to be context of your entire profile. And if you're interested in actually applying for the loan and you want Eternal Consulting to help and guide you, reach out to us and we will be guiding you through the process. And then we'll be answering your questions one by one, right? Because I think for a lot of you, you actually need like proper handholding on your application. So yeah. Do we have any other questions before I go to the last part of our presentation? Okay. Okay. Okay, so let me share screen. I will still be taking questions that you have. Do you have any questions? I hope I've been able to answer everybody's questions though. Okay, awesome. So now we have discussed like loans. We have discussed other opportunities. We've discussed loans. We've spoken about you asking your school for more money. We've spoken about different things. So right now, what are pre-MBA opportunities? So I will just talk a little bit about pre-MBA opportunities and the importance of pre-MBA opportunities. While there'll be some people that might get all of their funding and everything figured out before they get into school, for a lot of people, they'll actually be requiring support from like their internships and fellowships from some of these pre-MBA programs to actually fund certain parts of their education. And for a lot of people, even when you take a loan, you want to be sure that, oh, in my second year, I'll actually have a bit more flexibility and I'll have some more money to actually offset some of my costs. Because even if you get a full ride, I always say that the cost of an education, even if you get 100% full ride, the cost of an education is the missed cost of salaries, right, that you will have earned in the 2 years. So you're thinking about it not just from the money that leaves your pocket, but also opportunity costs, right? So you're thinking about it from an opportunity cost perspective. Now, landing pre-MBA opportunities is very, very important, but not everybody is able to crack that code. And that's why Titanow Consulting has the Head Start program. Our Head Start program starts from February, and it is targeted at incoming graduate school students. So graduate school students that have been given admission to school, right? You have an admission to business school or an MBA program or any graduate school program that is business inclined, and you are starting in the fall. And I'm sure you're wondering, why are we starting a coaching in February for starting in August? Trust me, you actually would require a lot of coaching for job search. And it's important that we get job search ahead of it, or you get ahead of your job search rather. It's better you get ahead of your job search than you struggling with your job search in the fall and in the spring semester. A lot of students who struggle a lot are people that are not able to crack pre-MBA opportunities and are not able to crack early internship opportunities and early internship positions, right? Because people believe that, oh, well, I have till next year, May, to actually get an intern. No, you do not, right? Internship positions are open a year or even more than a year sometimes before you're supposed to have landing internship. And if your internship starts May 2026, right? That means some of the applications are open since May 2025, even earlier than that. So if you're waiting till February 2026 or January 2026 to start your application, you're not going to get anything, you're going to get zilch, nothing at all, right? So it's very important that you start really, 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 really early to improve those chances, right? And the best way to achieve success is first, you need to understand what your academic requirements are. The MBA program is very rigorous, it's very, very intense, and it is not a joke. And I always tell people this. A lot of people think that, oh, they want to come for an MBA. It's a way to leave the country. If your goal is just to leave your home country, the MBA is not where you just want to come to. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not for jokers. It's not for people that are slackers. If not, you will struggle and you will drop out. The MBA program is tough for people that are very, 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 very interested in advancing their careers through the MBA program, not people that just want to leave their country. Because if you just want to leave your country, the MBA program is not for you. Because even from the first week of orientation, you would want to faint. So you have to be very, 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 very diligent. You have to have strong resilience. And you need to understand that you have strong academic requirements. And it's not a joke. The MBA program is not a joke. So that's the first thing that you need to know. You need to understand your academic requirements, and you need to know that the MBA program is not a joke. And then you need to be aware of imposter syndrome, right? You've gotten into business school, you're very resilient, you're smart, but there'll always be somebody that will be smarter than you. There are always people that are smarter than you. And apart from you, there are always people that are smarter than you. You will always feel like you're not good enough. This is because a lot of you are international students, and your mode of learning is different from the mode of learning in your new country, right? Different from the mode of learning in your own home country. So it's always very, very difficult. And a lot of us actually struggle with, am I meant to be here? Am I supposed to be here? But once you are aware that, oh, imposter syndrome actually does exist, and you know that you on your own, you're not a slacker, you are very resilient, you put in the work. You being aware that imposter syndrome is a thing helps you put it in check and helps you figure out how exactly can I manage my imposter syndrome situation, right? And then you need to work on defining your job search strategy. Now, defining your job search strategy, creating a structure for your job search strategy are the things that we would work on and talk about in detail in the Head Start program, which I'll be talking about in about a minute or two. Without a proper definition of your job search strategy, it's going to be almost impossible for you to achieve success, because you can't achieve success if you don't even know what you're tracking towards, right? You can only achieve success when you know what you're tracking towards. I need to create a structure for yourself. You can't just live haphazardly. A lot of people just wake up and they just do things haphazardly, just on the fly. No, you can't do that. If you do that, you'll be too overwhelmed and you will not achieve success, both career-wise and academic-wise. So everything about you must be structured. And I always tell people, as little as everything should be on your calendar. You have to go to the gym on your calendar. You're going to this class on your calendar. You're going to the library on your calendar. Everything has to be structured. And with the right structure, it'll be easier for you to actually achieve success, right? And then, I mean, you need to attend a lot of diversity conferences, diversity events, and then you need to leverage pre-MBA opportunities, right? Now, it's very, very important that people know what this is, university recruiting. So I'll just take you through that 1 minute, because I know we are almost at time and some of you might have more questions on the career aspect of things. So university recruiting technically is hiring for people that are currently in school. That's just what it is. It does not mean companies coming to your school. Now, companies coming to your school is a form of university recruiting, but that is not all university recruiting is about. University recruiting is basically hiring for people that are currently in school. So MBAs, undergrads, other masters, PhD students. So far, you are currently in school, you are ripe for university recruiting. And that's what we call like our internship. Our internships fall under university recruiting, pre-MBA opportunities fall under university recruiting, full-time positions fall under university recruiting. And one key thing about university recruiting is that university recruiting mostly starts a year before this person is supposed to be hired. Right? So you're supposed to get ahead of university recruiting. And if you are applying to get into school or resume school July, August, September, of 2025, then you need to get ahead of university recruiting at least from February. Now, there is already even a pre-MBA opportunity posted for people that are interested in finance. Toigo Fellowship is already up, and the deadline to apply, I think it's March. But I would advise that you apply early. There are a whole lot of these opportunities that are going to be popping up from February, March, April, right? And if you want to get ahead of your career and achieve success from a global perspective, not just, oh, I've gotten into school and that's it. No, getting into school is just the tiniest thing. And that's why when a lot of people struggle so much with, oh, this admission process is so stressful, I'm just like, if this thing is wearing you out like this, I don't know about your readiness for business school. I do not, because business school is a totally different ball game entirely. So you have to put in your A game. So which takes us to the Head Start program. So the MBA Head Start program is a 6-week intensive career bootcamp designed to help incoming MBA candidates get most of the career portion of their MBA experience. You want to get the most of it. So think about it as 6 weeks, 3 hours every week. It's 18 hours. Basically, it's like an 18-hour intensive bootcamp. It covers all of the resources required of you from a job search perspective for you to navigate your internship search before you even start the program. So you can hit hit everything running, like hit the road running, right? So that there are no challenges and you have minimal challenges. So we cover resume, all of the anchors of the job search, application, resume, interviewing, networking, pre-MBA internship opportunities, storytelling, and behavioral interview preparation, which takes a huge portion of the Head Start, consulting and technical case interviewing. So consulting interviews, technical case interviews, finance, product management, product marketing, communication. We do diversity conferences. There's going to be a case competition. We're going to have networking event. And then we're going to have post-MBA career path evaluation. So it actually simulates what you would get in the first semester of the MBA program, but just from a career perspective, right? So add-ons, you get your resume finalized by a consultant, you get one hour of mock interview with a consultant, and you have one cover letter finalized by a consultant. So currently, we are taking registrations for the Head Start program for 2025. And good thing is that 5% of our cohort landed early internship interviews. So far, we have done this 2021, 22, 23, 24, and we have internship interviews at least 60% of people with offers before December. So do you want to be one of the first people to land an MBA internship in 2025? I think that should be what your focus is on right now. Go ahead and register for the Head Start Bootcamp, even when you haven't gotten your admission yet, right? It's important that you register for the bootcamp, even when you haven't gotten your admission yet, because at this point, there's nothing stopping you from registering, right? This doesn't start till like February. And if you want to have any in-depth conversation with me, please just schedule a one-on-one session, send an email in advance that you want to have this session with me to discuss the Head Start program, and I would be the one to take the call. So we can go deeper into what exactly your interests are, what your challenges are, and we can discuss more about the Head Start program and how you can be successful. So based off of the things that we have discussed today, we have the Empower UTM link, which will be included in the chat. It's been included in the chat. The Head Start link to register for the Head Start program. And if you want to book a session with me, you have the Calendly link to book a session with me. So I'm going to open it up now for questions. So let me know if you have any questions. You can put your questions in the chat box so we can answer your questions. You can raise your hand actually. So it's easier if you raise your hand. If you raise your hand, then I can call you, or if you raise your hand, if you don't want to raise your hand, you can put your question in the chat box. So nobody has any questions. Samuel, can I? Yeah.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this session. I know we had spoken about this before, but I would like to ask if you are going to advise maybe some of us that maybe gotten like maybe 100% institution, if you're going to advise on the amount we are going to take as living expenses, and are you going to assign a personal person to us to guide us through this Empower application process?
Okay, so yes, I can advise you on the amount you would take for living expenses, and yes, you'll be assigned a person to actually guide you through the Empower application process. So it will be me or a member of my team. And when it comes to advising you on the amount to actually take, it's going to vary. So your school requires you to have to show certain amounts for living expenses based off of what your school has included on the website for living expenses. And irrespective of if that's the total amount you would spend, you need to be able to show that. So it now depends. Do you have your own personal funds to augment that? In reality, so a lot of people always say, oh, I do have personal funds, but in reality, do you have that money? If not, I would say that for at least for everything you'll be requiring for your first year, you need to have the loan amount for it, so you are not stranded. I will be able to provide you like guidance. I mean, this is like a personal one-on-one conversation because it's like your own like financial situation. So just book a call and then we can talk about that. But before the call, what you'll be required to do is go do some research from your school. It's actually available online, or from your school financial aid services team. They will tell you how much it's required for you to show for living expenses, and then we can work from that. Oh, okay. So now this
Okay, thank you.
bootcamp. Okay, yeah. Oh, sorry. Do you have any other question?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So the boot camp, yes, most of the candidates in the boot camp are MBA candidates. However, we've had participants in the boot camp from other business, masters in business programs, like I think particular business analytics and project management. So as a master's in human resource professional, you're very, very welcome because your program is in a business school. So it does really fall into the group of people that would achieve success from the bootcamp. So yes, you can go ahead and apply to register for it. So do we have any more questions? Okay, so we do not have any more questions. Okay, all right. So if we don't have any more questions, nobody has questions. Nobody has questions about Empower. Nobody has questions about the about the MBA Head Start program. Okay, so you'll be provided a recording, the link to the recording of this video. It's going to be on YouTube, so you can go and rewatch it. And you also get an email with the links that we have discussed, which is the Empower UTM link for the Titanar event. And we'll also have like the registration for the HESTA program. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can I still apply for? Yes, you can still apply. I think that was the entire thing we discussed on the webinar, that even if you haven't gotten an admission, you can still apply. You can still apply. What do you mean? Can you still apply for an internship? Oh, I thought you meant loan. So for an internship, the internships are not open right now, right? The internships for the class of 2020, they're going to be class of 2027, so graduate 2027. The internships will be open in 2025. 2025. I want to believe you would have gotten your admission before the internships opened. So it depends. Are you applying in round 2? So what do you mean next year? Next year is very vague. Are you applying in round 2? So if you're a class of 2027 and you are going to be interning in 2026, right? The early internship positions, the fellowships, I mean, there is one Toigo fellowship open right now, and a lot of other fellowships start getting open from like March, April, May, June. So when exactly are you planning to get into school? Are you planning to get into school in August, right? And if you're planning to get into school in August, if your program is only a year, then you're not applying for internships, you're applying for full-time positions because you are graduating within a year. So that's a totally different conversation. So book an appointment with us for that. That's a totally different conversation. That's a totally different conversation. So full-time. So the Head Start program will still work for you, but you are going to be focused on full-time, not internship roles. Does that make sense? Okay, awesome. Perfect. All right. Thank you all so much. You'll be getting updated links to the Empower. And if you want us to go through the Empower application with you, please let us know. And if you have any other questions, you can send a message to me at anu@statinarconsulting.com, and I will be responding. Thank you all so much. Okay, thank you. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening.